From May 16 to 20, something extraordinary is happening. A 200-year-old energetic structure known as the Love Portal is fully reactivating. According to spiritual visionary Jim Morrow, this rare alignment resets your personal 5D frequency and reopens timelines that were closed during a darker planetary cycle. But this isn't just about cosmic waves or emotional clearing. It's about remembering how love is a frequency architecture that shapes entire realities. In this sacred window, you're not being asked to chase healing. You're being invited to return to your core resonance. The Love Portal doesn't ask you to do more. It asks you to become more of who you truly are. Why 2024 to 2025 was meant for the love reset. Long ago, before this lifetime, before these names, many of us encoded a return point into the time field. A moment when all of Earth's pain timelines would begin dissolving under the light of reawakened heart energy. That moment is now. It's not metaphorical. It's encoded into the energetic spine of 2024 and 2025. This reset wasn't possible until humanity had reached a certain level of emotional maturity. We had to rediscover that love is not a feeling. It's a frequency law. It governs coherence, stability, and light structures within our bodies and our world. Only now, after centuries of fragmentation, are we stable enough to hold its truth again. You may have felt it coming in waves, heart fluttering for no reason, a desire to forgive old betrayals, or a sudden softening in your inner dialogue. These aren't random. They're precursors to the reset. The Love Portal isn't arriving. It's remembering itself through you. This portal activates through consent, not through force or ritual, but through vibrational permission. When you choose to stop holding on to what never matched your truth, the gate swings open. Not in the sky, but in your field. This is where the 5D love code begins to root. During this short but potent window, old wounds may come up not to haunt you, but to be reintegrated into your wholeness. This isn't a spiritual test. It's a healing reunion. Every tear holds the memory of a universe you once carried and now get to release. The reset doesn't mean you lose everything. It means everything gets realigned with love. That includes relationships, creative flow, physical vitality, and your sense of time. You're not just resetting your path. You're restoring the grid of love that the earth was always meant to hold. This portal doesn't appear. It resonates. Most people think portals open like doors, sudden, dramatic, and visible. But love portals don't announce themselves with fireworks. They hum, they shimmer, they resonate. This one, in particular, isn't showing up in the sky. It's surfacing in the emotional field of everyone who's ready to soften into truth. This 200-year portal doesn't need to be found. It finds you the moment your heart frequency crosses a certain coherence point. When your intentions, emotions, and energy align, the portal begins to weave through your field like a current you didn't realize you were already floating in. It doesn't ask for preparation in the traditional sense. It asks for receptivity. When you stop resisting love, genuine, clean, multidimensional love, it steps closer. You may feel this as subtle waves, a gentle ache in the chest, sudden warmth, or tears that don't come from sadness but remembrance. In the presence of this portal, you're not required to solve anything. You're invited to feel everything. That's how the resonance builds. As your body becomes more transparent to your soul's emotion, the frequency of love refines the very space you live in. This isn't a show. It's a tuning. And it's not reserved for spiritual teachers or energy workers. It's moving through everyone: bankers, artists, mothers, scientists. If your heart can listen, the portal will sing through you, adjusting your field like a sacred song adjusting a tuning fork. We miss these moments not because they're hidden, but because we're looking with the wrong senses. Don't search with your eyes. Sit in stillness, breathe into your ribs, and ask your field to remember. This portal doesn't appear in space, it arrives in alignment. The 5D frequency is not a vibe, it's a geometry. 5D isn't a better mood or a temporary high. It's a structural frequency, shaped like geometry, moving like light, and encoded with universal intelligence. According to Gia, the 5D frequency doesn't just elevate you, it reorganizes your internal blueprint to match divine coherence. You may think you're accessing 5D when you're feeling uplifted, but true 5D recalibration can happen in moments of quiet, in loss, or in clarity that breaks you open. It's not a vibe you catch. It's a geometry you embody, a living matrix that changes how you hold your thoughts, your cells, and your relationships. When you're in 5D coherence, your energy field begins to reflect the golden ratio. Your nervous system stabilizes, your perception widens, and time becomes fluid. This isn't imagination. It's physics at a higher octave. Your body becomes a temple, and your life becomes a harmonic instrument. This love portal is aligned with that geometry. As it activates, it feeds your subtle field with information that helps you remember how to resonate in symmetrical patterns, meaning less emotional chaos, fewer energetic distortions, and more balance between giving and receiving. This is why 5D doesn't overwhelm, it refines. You may start noticing that old habits no longer fit, or that people who operate from fear start to fade gently from your space. Not from rejection, but because their geometry can't synchronize with yours anymore. Don't chase the 5D feeling. Instead, structure your stillness. Build moments of harmonic silence. Honor emotions that move like spirals, not spikes, and let your internal shape shift from defense to flow. That's where 5D isn't just accessed, it becomes your new baseline. Love portals are grids of cosmic agreement. Love portals don't just randomly form, they are agreements designed long ago between soul groups, planetary grids, and higher dimensional architects. When one opens, like the current 200-year portal, it's not just a cosmic accident, it's a scheduled reunion written in the memory of time. These agreements were encoded into Earth's crystalline grid when certain levels of collective emotion reached critical mass. In this case, humanity's slow and painful evolution toward emotional authenticity triggered the sequence that allowed this portal to reawaken and make itself accessible again. It's not about individual romance, it's about collective remembrance. This portal reminds us that love is the glue of creation, the force that reassembles timelines, and the engine of planetary ascension. When it opens, it invites everything out of alignment with love to either heal or fall away. That's why some people may feel disoriented or deeply emotional during this time. It's not chaos. It's sacred reordering. The portal's grid pulses through every soul contract that's ready to upgrade. You may feel the call to reconnect with old friends, forgive past wounds, or even leave partnerships that no longer reflect truth. If it feels confusing, remember, this isn't just your story unfolding. You're part of a vast, interwoven pattern of souls who agreed to hold love codes, release trauma imprints, and radiate new possibilities for this earth. The portal is the moment where all those threads begin to weave back together. You don't have to understand it all. Just feel what softens in you. Feel what breaks open with gentleness instead of pressure. That's the portal doing its work through you. Not to change you, but to restore you to the agreements your soul already made in light. Giamaro explains the 5D heart field technology. What makes this love portal so transformational, says Gia, is the reactivation of what she calls the 5D heart field technology, a layered, multidimensional intelligence that turns your heart from an organ into a resonant transmitter of love across timelines. This heart field is more than chakra energy. It's a toroidal gateway connecting emotional clarity, soul-level identity, and galactic remembrance into one singular field. When activated, your heart no longer just feels love. It broadcasts harmonics that heal distortion in others simply through your presence. When your 5D heart field is active, you don't need to protect yourself with walls. Your field is so coherent that dissonance cannot remain within it. You stop managing life defensively and start living radiantly, knowing your frequency is not fragile, it's foundational. Gia explains that this portal amplifies that heart field in waves. You may feel pulsations in the chest, vivid emotional memories, or moments of unconditional presence. These are signs that your field is stabilizing. Don't resist the intensity. It's your true system coming back online. You're not just healing old pain. You're recalibrating the light infrastructure of your emotional body. What was once hurt becomes wisdom. What was once fear becomes gentleness. And what was once silence becomes a broadcast of truth that shifts reality without a word. This portal isn't about escaping Earth. It's about remembering why you came. The heart isn't just a container. It's a creator. And when your 5D heart field resets, you don't just feel love, you become a living architecture of divine coherence on Earth. Emotional memories will surface to be returned to light. During portal windows like this one, buried emotional memories often rise to the surface, not to punish or re-traumatize, but to be returned to light. These memories are not random. They are energetic residues that distort the clarity of your field and block higher frequency flow. You might find yourself thinking about past relationships, family wounds, or old heartbreaks you thought were long healed. This doesn't mean you're regressing. It means you're being invited to reprocess them with new light. The portal brings a softer frequency that lets truth emerge without judgment. In this space, clarity replaces blame. Emotion becomes movement. What once paralyzed you now simply dissolves. This doesn't come from mental analysis. It comes from permission to feel fully. You don't need to fix the past. You only need to let the pain express itself and exit. Returning emotion to light is a sacred process. It doesn't happen through force, but through presence. Sit with what surfaces. Breathe into the ache. Offer it your attention, and when it's ready, it will lift, not because you let go, but because it was finally seen as worthy of release. The body's crystalline structure is rebalancing through love. According to Gia, the body's crystalline grid, the subtle structure of light and vibration beneath your physical tissues, is receiving a recalibration through this love portal. This isn't just spiritual metaphor. It's a biological awakening to the frequency of divine coherence. You may notice body sensations, light pressure in the chest, waves of warmth, or tingling across your back or arms. These aren't symptoms of disorder. They are your body's crystalline fibers realigning to hold more light without distortion. Love in this form is architecture, not emotion. This structure doesn't only support your energy field, it also restructures your nervous system, making it easier to release old trauma loops and stabilize in higher resonance. That's why you might feel both deeply calm and inexplicably emotional during this time. Real healing is both grounding and expansive. Rebalancing through love means your body stops bracing and starts remembering. Muscles unclench. Organs sigh. The field softens. You begin living not in reaction, but in harmonic readiness. And that readiness creates the safety required for even deeper layers of transformation to emerge. Sacred reunions, when soul groups activate together. One of the most beautiful side effects of a love portal is the rise of sacred reunions, connections with soul family members who are also activating. These meetings may be brief or lifelong, but their timing is always divine. They serve as confirmation that you're not evolving alone. You might feel instantly at home with someone new, or notice that a friend suddenly reflects your inner changes. These aren't coincidences, they're soul group alignments. You're being pulled toward those who signed similar pre-incarnation agreements to awaken, anchor, and embody love during key planetary shifts. As these reunions occur, energy flows more freely. Creativity accelerates. Healing quickens. Laughter deepens. When soul groups activate together, the grid itself stabilizes. Your meeting isn't just meaningful, it's functional. You're part of a living circuitry system designed to hold the field during convergence. If someone arrives during this window and feels like they've always been part of your story, honor that. Listen, connect, and let the bond unfold without agenda. Sometimes the portal speaks not in visions, but in the returning echo of a soul you promised never to forget. This reset is not an escape, it's a return. Gia reminds us that many seekers unconsciously chase spiritual awakenings as a form of escape from pain, from reality, from density. But this love portal doesn't offer escape. It offers a return to self, to soul, to simplicity, and to love as the original architecture of your being. The frequency of this reset doesn't remove the human experience. It deepens it. You won't rise above challenges, you'll walk through them with grace. That's the difference between spiritual bypassing and soul embodiment. This portal is not asking you to leave the world, it's asking you to love it back to life. As your field resets, you may notice a shift in how you relate to your body, your voice, and your emotions. Everything slows, softens, and becomes clearer. Not because you've escaped the human condition, but because you're finally meeting it from your divine center. You didn't come here to transcend the world. You came to help recode it. And the way you do that isn't by running from it. It's by returning to it so full of light, truth, and coherence that even the densest energies remember what they once were. Heart intelligence will override old mental loops. As the love portal intensifies, you may notice your mind struggling to keep up. Old narratives loop, familiar doubts reappear, and logic begins to short-circuit. That's not regression. It's a sign that heart intelligence is beginning to override mental programming. The heart, in its 5D state, doesn't operate through thought, it operates through resonance. It knows truth by feeling, not by reasoning. And when your heart field activates, mental loops based on fear, control, or past pain begin to lose their grip. They no longer find a home in your frequency. This shift can be disorienting at first. The mind will want to figure it out, but the heart will simply hold space. As this override happens, peace returns, not because everything is resolved, but because you've stopped believing the thoughts that were never yours to begin with. In this new alignment, the heart becomes your compass. It makes choices from clarity, not urgency. It speaks in whispers that echo louder than shouting. And as you follow it, you begin to live in a rhythm beyond reason, where every step you take is an act of remembering who you've always been. Your electromagnetic aura is being retuned to coherence. As the love portal transmits its higher dimensional frequencies, your electromagnetic field, or aura, begins a subtle but powerful retuning. Gia teaches that your aura isn't a passive glow, it's an active intelligence. It filters experience, communicates with reality, and holds the integrity of your multidimensional being. Right now, the portal is emitting specific waveforms that recalibrate the layers of your aura, especially where trauma has weakened the structure. You might feel this as sudden shifts in energy, tingling, fatigue, or surges of emotional clarity. This is your auric field realigning itself with divine symmetry. This reset returns your field to its original coherence, where signals flow cleanly between soul and body. That means greater intuition, stronger boundaries, and fewer emotional leaks. People who used to drain you may no longer access you, not from walls, but from resonance. The aura becomes a sanctuary, not because you defended it, but because it now resonates too purely for distortion to stay. You're not becoming harder, you're becoming clearer. And that clarity becomes the force field through which love, purpose, and truth move unobstructed. The portal opens where forgiveness meets frequency. Portals don't open just because of dates. They open when specific emotional conditions are met. And one of the most vital of those conditions is forgiveness. Not as a moral virtue, but as an energetic release mechanism that clears density and opens the frequency gates. Forgiveness in this context isn't about saying someone was right. It's about releasing yourself from resonance with what hurt you. When you forgive, you exit the loop of pain and enter the field of possibility. You unhook the anchor that keeps you repeating timelines that no longer serve you. As this love portal pulses, the energy of forgiveness is moving through the collective like a wave. You may feel sudden urges to release old grievances, revisit past events with gentleness, or even cry for reasons you can't explain. These aren't breakdowns, they're clearings. This is the portal reminding you that light cannot fully activate where resentment still lives. But once forgiveness meets frequency, a door opens, and through it flows a higher octave of love that doesn't just heal your past, but begins to shape your future with radiant neutrality. You are receiving the light you sent centuries ago. Gia shared that this portal isn't just a transmission from the future, it's a delivery from the past. You are now receiving the very light you encoded into the planetary field lifetimes ago, waiting for this moment to awaken. Your acts of love, courage, and service across many incarnations did not vanish. They crystallized into codes and were stored in the soul grids of Gaia herself. Now, as the 200-year portal opens, those codes are releasing back to you, not as memory, but as embodiment. This is why you may feel new abilities rising, why confidence is replacing confusion, and why you suddenly remember truths you were never taught. These are not downloads, they are returns. The universe never forgets love that was given freely. It simply waits for the right resonance to return it. You are not becoming someone new. You're stepping into the version of you that always existed beneath the veil. And this love portal is the cosmic mirror through which your past, your essence, and your future converge into one radiant presence of soul wholeness. The silence between heartbeats is the activation key. In the space between one heartbeat and the next, there is a stillness, a pause so brief it feels like a breath held by the cosmos itself. That space, during this portal window, becomes a frequency key that activates light beyond language. Silence has always been misunderstood. It's not emptiness, it's fullness undisturbed. In the stillness between heartbeats, brain waves quiet, ego softens, and the soul steps forward. During this reset, many of the highest codes aren't coming through thought. They are arriving in the silence you've been avoiding. When you rest into that still point, even just for seconds, you begin to feel reality pulse differently. Emotions feel more truthful. Thoughts become less urgent. The body remembers it's safe. That space is where the love portal sends its most potent invitations, quietly, directly, without trauma. In a world of constant input, the stillness between heartbeats becomes sacred ground. You don't need to chant, pray, or ask. Just listen. Pause. Be. That's where the most ancient codes hide. Not in effort, but in the quiet willingness to receive without needing to reach. This is not romance. It's soul infrastructure. According to Gia, one of the greatest misunderstandings about a love portal is thinking it's about romance. While love between people may be activated, the deeper truth is that this energy reactivates your soul's infrastructure, the foundational template of divine coherence. Romantic feelings may rise, but what's really happening is deeper. Your internal architecture is being rebuilt to reflect higher frequencies of union, not with another, but within yourself. Every healed fracture, every reintegrated part, forms a stronger light body scaffold for your higher self to reside in. This is why relationships may shift dramatically during this time. Not because of drama, but because you're finally holding enough light to recognize what supports your soul structure and what doesn't. You're not looking for completion. You're aligning with foundation. When you see this clearly, love stops being about needing someone and starts becoming about becoming someone. The true reunion isn't outside of you. It's the moment your inner masculine and feminine meet and choose to co-create the life your soul came here to embody. The quantum signature of true union is stabilizing now. There's a frequency, a quantum signature, that exists when souls come into true union. This signature is not based on desire, karma, or story. It's a harmonic pattern that forms when two beings meet with clarity, coherence, and soul maturity. And it's being anchored now across the collective field. You may not be aware of it, but your field is scanning, matching, and calibrating to this frequency. For some, this will result in sacred unions forming. For others, it may mean old patterns finally dissolve, clearing the way for future partnerships rooted in alignment, not attachment. The convergence of this union code is not just romantic, it's structural. It anchors new levels of trust, creativity, and spiritual service. These unions don't just feel good, they build things. They stabilize fields. They radiate safety. And they ripple into communities with profound ripple effects. Even if you're not in a partnership, this code is moving through you. Every time you honor truth over fantasy, integrity over performance, and stillness over strategy, you harmonize with this signature. And when the moment comes, you won't attract a person. You'll attract a co-resonant soul mission. All 5D paths converge through the inner child's door. Gia reminds us that no matter how advanced your frequency becomes, no ascension path bypasses the inner child. That child, the purest imprint of your soul's light, is the very door through which 5D love must pass to become embodied. You may think 5D is about galactic codes or cosmic upgrades, but in truth, it's the child inside you, the one who remembers wonder, trusts instinctively, and feels fully, that holds the actual key to stabilization. When this child feels safe, everything else aligns effortlessly. During this portal window, many will feel echoes from childhood. Old pain, forgotten joy, or sudden memories of moments when the world felt magical. These are not distractions. They are invitations. Your soul is asking you to revisit the root, not to fix, but to remember. When the inner child is honored, the field of love expands exponentially. Healing accelerates. Vision becomes clearer. And your 5D alignment moves from theory into living reality. This convergence is not about becoming higher. It's about returning to the one within you who never forgot how to love. The planet is realigning its love field through you. Earth itself has a love grid, a subtle frequency network that transmits harmony, balance, and interconnectedness. That grid has been fragmented for centuries. But during this convergence, you become one of the conduits through which Gaia is realigning her planetary love field. You may think of love as personal, but in higher dimensions, love is a structural force. When your field returns to coherence, your energy begins to influence your environment, your relationships, even the land beneath your feet. This is planetary service through frequency. This is why self-love is not selfish, it's essential. Every wound you heal, every emotion you honor, every truth you stand in sends ripples into the global field. The earth responds. The earth recalibrates. You are not separate from her architecture. You are one of its living beams of light.